Ceann, the fact is that farmers have no control over the price that they get in return from the market for beef. And that's the fundamental issue that has led to the beef crisis and the price crisis during the summer. And this really has to change if we're going to have movement and if we're going to address the issue in relation to the pickets outside the meat plants across the country. As I said here last night, we need movement on the base price that is paid for cattle. And we need to see a realistic offer being made by individual plants. We have a producer organisation established through the beef plan movement, and that must now be used as a vehicle to engage with individual meat plants across the country and to agree a base price. But the one concern that farmers have, if a base price is agreed, is what's to stop that movement in relation to that price next month, next week or next year again. And I think, and as I said last night, Minister, what we need to see is a base price established, a minimum price that will be established, and then that would be tied in with the variation in the European average price for beef. As you know, the European Commission every single week publish a list of the average prices across Europe in terms of beef and the price paid for a carcass. And just like we have tracker mortgages, we should have a tracker base price for beef. And then farmers can work to get a higher price than that in terms of bonuses and meeting various criteria. But unless there is a baseline put in place, then we are not going to have movement in relation to the issues that we have at present. But in tandem with that, we need to look at some fundamental problems within the beef sector at present. And I firmly believe that we have to establish a distinct brand for certified, grass-fed, extensively reared Irish suckler beef. Now, as you know, there is an application with the European Commission for EU protected geographical indication status for that very product. And I believe that we need to redouble efforts, and the government needs to redouble efforts now to establish that status, and in tandem with that then to establish an individual brand just like Kerrygold to market that product across Europe and across the globe. Because the big difficulty at the moment is that Irish suckler beef is competing with manufacturing beef in this country from the dairy herd. And we're competing domestically in relation to a price for that, never mind being able to sell that as a unique product on international markets. Instead of that, we're using Irish suckler beef as a hook to sell that manufacturing beef into international markets. That needs to change and has to change immediately. Secondly, in line with the recommendation of the Competition and Consumer Protection Commission, last May it recommended at the Agriculture Committee that there would be a dedicated sectoral regulator established to deal with the unfair trading practices directive coming from Europe and to improve the welfare of farmers. We need to establish an independent regulator for this sector forthwith to actually protect small Irish family farms across this country, and this is something that cannot be dithered upon. Thirdly, and as I said here last night, yes, we have issues with the Competition and Consumer Protection Commission, with the threats that are being issued, but there are tools available to government through the Competition and Consumer Protection Commission to actually look at the beef sector in this country, to look at who is actually controlling the levers of the beef sector in this country. And under Section 10, subsection 4 of the Competition and Consumer Protection Commission Act, the Minister Humphreys can ask the Competition and Consumer Protection Commission to do an analysis of the beef market in this country and make recommendations on that. And that needs to happen, and needs to happen immediately. Fourthly, we are going to be back here again, dealing with this issue in a number of years' time, and the next time we're here, we're going to say that the fundamental mistake that was made in 2019 was that we should have established a state-owned and state-controlled blockchain supply chain for the beef sector. This is new technology. It's happening across our pharmaceutical sector here in this country. Someone in Ireland is going to establish that blockchain, and if it is not state-owned and state-controlled, it will be further used to actually abuse the significant market share that is there at present and compound the problem facing Irish farmers today. And there is a responsibility now on the Department of Agriculture to bring all of the players together to establish a publicly owned and controlled national beef supply blockchain, which will increase the value of beef, but more importantly, increase the return that is available to Irish farmers. And Minister, these 4 steps won't improve the price of beef tomorrow morning, or next week for that matter. Only movement on the base price will do that. However, if these measures are not taken now, then we will regret in the future having not taken them. And if these measures had been taken in the past, we would not be in the situation that we're in today. And what is fundamentally important is, yes, we address the crisis that is there at present. We ensure that there is a base price. But of fundamental importance is also to ensure that there is a future in Irish suckler beef in this country. And it is disingenuous for people to say that we should be reducing the Irish suckler beef herd. Yes, we have an issue in relation to cattle numbers in this country, but as we all know, those numbers are going askew in the dairy sector, not in the Irish suckler beef sector. And we need to protect that, because unless we do, all we're going to see is the green fields across this country that we have at the moment turning into the yellow fields of the future in terms of both ragwort and fir bushes and gorse right across this country, because farmers will hand over fist abandon the land west of the River Shannon, which is not suitable for tillage, it is not suitable for dairy production, and it is providing a sustainable livelihood for many elements of the economy. And unless we're prepared to put gates right along the bridges on the River Shannon, then we need to acknowledge the fundamental importance of the suckler herd in this country, of the suckler beef industry in this country, and we need to roll up our sleeves now and support it, not just for tomorrow, not just for next week, but for the years to come. Thank you.